wrong.
Salutations.
I know you. You brought those guests to our temple. Kalia and Sombrin and poor Destron. Everyone in town is talking about your deeds in Blackwood. You helped stop that traitorous Vendacia and his cult. Thank you for that. I did say that, didn't I? I suppose that even the charms of the Lady of Love can be too much for some folk. Not everyone can stand to bask in Debella's glory for too long at a time. But they were good people. I liked them all. I heard them talking about a ruin north of Gideon. I know that particular place well. Let me mark its location on your map. When you can spare a moment, come back and enjoy one of our ceremonies. All should open their hearts to the secrets of love.
I just came by to... Hey, where are Callie and Sombrin? I came by to find out what was keeping you in the ambitions. Where are they? What happened to Callie and Sombrin? A ruin? I wonder why they went there. Haven't those two had enough adventures after all they've been through? We should go find the ambitions or they'll miss the party. Did the priest say which ruin in particular? Lead on then. The party's going to start soon and we don't want to be late. I, for one, want to get a nice piece of cake. Or maybe a slice of pie? Oh, broken branches, I'll just have both.
There's always more to do.
There's so much to do and so little time.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
What do you want?
How much longer, Sombrin? This place makes me feel uneasy.
Not long now. I'm almost... Oh, it seems we have company. I'm actually glad you found us. I didn't want to leave without an explanation, but I'm afraid that Callie doesn't have a lot of time. Callie's power is recharging faster than I anticipated. It will soon reach the point where I won't be able to help her. Then she'll either release it and destroy everything around her, or it will consume her. Either way, people die, including Callia. Use the Mysterium Xarxis to open a portal to the Deadlands? It's the only place I can think of where Callia will be safe. The realm naturally siphons off a portion of our power. That will give me time to teach Callia to control it on her own. It's a big place. Zainatami had to avoid notice there. And it's the last place Dagon's followers will think to look for us. As soon as Callia can control her power, we'll come back. I promise. Thank you, my friend, for everything. I'll return the book when we come back, Evely.
Nah, you keep it. I think it was meant for you. Poor Callia. I hope Sombrin's right and he can help her. But taking refuge in the Deadlands? That's like the sausage leaping out of the pan because it thinks the fire will be safer. As for me, I never want to visit the Deadlands again. Hey, it wasn't my book. I was just keeping it safe for... Well, as crazy as it sounds, I think I was meant to give it to Sombrin. He certainly did more with it than I ever could. And I'm not about to miss the bad dreams and the waking visions. We go to the party. It's taking place in the gardens behind the governor's mansion. To think, this all started because I was curious about a coded journal I found in Emperor Leovik's old retreat. We figured out the secret, and now we celebrate. I'll see you at the party. Last one there doesn't get any cake.
See, one moment. Hey, how's it going, man?
That sounds delicious, assassin. You must leave me a copy of the recipe.
What the heck? Oh, okay. Never mind. I know exactly what that is. From the prologue. Good grief. All the ones who... So weird, every single one of them showed up from what happened in the prologue up until this point. Another day in the life. There we go. That works, I guess.
Welcome to the celebration, mercenary. There are many here who wish to thank you and share a drink or two. But where are Sombrin and Callia? I expected you to bring them with you. Choosing exile to spare others from danger is a noble decision. I wish them well, even as I worry about Sombrin and Callia out there on their own. Everyone else has gathered. Eat, drink, talk to your friends. In time, I shall address the crowd. Anyone you like, they have all come to show you their appreciation. And do not leave too swiftly. I intend to boast of your accomplishments soon. I see Evely has arrived. Perhaps you should begin with her.
Bottom's gonna fall out at some point. Celebrating all too soon. Well, they already know that the threat that's going on. It's just a lull moment at the moment, I guess.
So this is what it's like being the hero everyone looks up to? Most of the stories I've read end with a hero riding off into the sunset before anyone can properly thank them. But I feel like we ought to stay for just a little while, don't you?
Man, I ended up streaming this last night and ended up getting into a boss fight that I was wondering if it was ever going to end. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, I survived it, obviously, you know, but I'm just like, man, my freaking hands hurt after all of that. The thing that kind of gets to me is I appreciate like how like fast-paced the action is in this. Seems like it's obviously more fast-paced than other Elder Scrolls titles, but the problem is that it's like, man, you know, it almost seems like even though I know this has multiplayer in it, obviously, you know, it kind of seems like in a ways that they would try to lower the difficulty down for somebody just playing by themselves. But I think it really kind of scales to your own level, I guess, regardless of who's in your party. It just scales to whatever level it is that you are. In terms of like your party power and stuff like that, I guess, and levels and whatnot. But I guess that was one reason why I go and I come with this game, is because like sometimes it's like, man, I kind of feel like I'm doing the same thing, but man, my hands are like getting sore sometimes too. Like if I get in like really big fights. And so, like, last night was epic in terms of the boss fight that I was doing, but I was like, good grief. I was like, is this dude ever going to die? Especially with all these other enemies that are popping up at the same time. I mean, obviously, I had, like, AI help. So, you know, that's good. I wasn't just out there on my own, except for, like, a handful of specific times where I was on my own until the allies came back around to assist.
I don't know about that, but I certainly feel more experienced, and I have you to thank. Well, you and Captain Rian and Governor Keshu and poor foul Lupus. Can you believe this all started because I couldn't leave Emperor Lehovic's secret alone?
Yeah, an inquisitive little wood elf. Who would have ever thought anything bad would have came out of that?
That's right, I almost forgot. And we should be ready to help Sombrin and Kalia when they return. I don't believe that Mehrunes Dagon and his followers are just going to leave them alone. I really thought the ambitions were actual weapons, though. Here, your share of the last of our compensation from Leowin. And a little something from me. I learned so much at your side. If you need any help, just send word and I'll come running. Oh look, I think Governor Keshu's ready to speak.
I think another thing is also, like, with, from what I had read, apparently they're also trying to focus a little bit more towards it being easier to do, just being a single player in the game, because of, I don't know why that is. It's just like they had all these other expansions that's been out since the game has been out, and it's like, yeah, you can play it single player, no problem, but it really does seem like, you know, knowing it's MMO, they really did want to focus much more towards the MMO side of things with dungeons and things like that. But from what I'm hearing now, I don't know if it's specifically in this expansion and also the next expansion, but they're making it more tolerable to be able to just play by yourself, and it seems like you're not going to have to constantly have to find people to do dungeons, which actually the way the dungeons are is that there's dungeons where you yourself can do them, and then there's larger ones where you would require a party, and then there's even bigger ones where you would have to have like a really large party. And so I think that now they're trying to relieve that a bit, I suppose, by actually having companions that you can have, which, to be honest, I don't know why in the world they didn't bother to do that when the game released. I think they did, but it was only like specific quests. I don't think it was like a constant thing, you know, like the way that it is in the Fallout games and the other Elder Scrolls games. So, the game's annoying you. Why is it annoying you?
Welcome, people of Blackwood,
Yeah.
and honored
Ooh,
friends.
trophy.
We have weathered a terrible storm, so now we celebrate. Many had a hand in this victory, including those who gave their lives for our cause. But I want to honor the two heroes beside me. Without them, all would have been lost. So stand tall and raise your cups to the sky. Remember those who fell and praise the deeds of those who lived.
Raise your cucks to the sky. Okay. See all that pops up first before I end up going. Well, never mind. Oh. Oh, okay. Weapon styles. Oh, yeah. There we go. Well, that's not a very impressive maul, but heck, it looks cooler and better than what I had, so there we go. Oh, deals oblivion damage based on the enemy's max health and deals 4,500. Deals a maximum of 4,500 oblivion damage. Increases healing done by 8%. If I have the entire set, it ends up stacking of increased magicka, health, and stamina. If I have all 5, when an enemy of recently damaged dies, gain 10 ultimate and increased health recovery. The effect occurs once every 10 seconds. Ooh. Well, give me some poison. Which one's higher, actually? I'll do that one. Let's do this one. Poison backup, we'll do that one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, time when certain dialogue responses. Yeah, I get that. Have you tried adjusting the sensitivity with the driving at all? Oh, wow, that's weird. Huh. I thought maybe you were probably talking about how the FOV was and the frames per second, and I was thinking I thought you'd already fixed that one. Oh. Drinks increase resource recovery. Food increases max resources. You only have one of these buffs active at a time. You mean to tell me I had to reach level 22 to be able to have that happen? I don't even know if that even ended up happening some years back when I was playing as another character. Or maybe it was and I just didn't notice it. But dang. Really? Level 22 just for that? Dungeon Finder. Crypt of Hearts 1. Now that right there would actually require a party. I believe. That's not anything that's solo. Just given how the plus is next to it. I'm doing a destruction staff thingy at the moment, so let's just go ahead and do that for now. Dang, man, that's a load of crap. Now, was this all on one playthrough that you were doing this? You didn't like reset the game or shut it down and go back into it again, thinking that it might fix that problem? Didn't I have... I guess I did not. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that might just be a better course of action, I imagine. That really freaking sucks, man. That's a load of crap, really it is. And it's so crazy how that game works, too, with people. Like, some people are like, oh, it's amazing, I didn't have any problems. Then you have other people who are like, this game is crap, I had so many problems. You know, it's friggin' weird, dude. I mean, it really is. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, did I have another? Oh, I did have another one. Where's the... Like, why in the world is it telling me that? I'm not seeing it up here anywhere. I think I'd already had that. I already got that. Spear shards. Oh. Unlocked at Adric Spear 30. I thought I already had that up to 30. Oh, wait a minute. What? You're not making any sense, game. You're telling me these are advised abilities and I'm going into them, but you're not showing that they're selectable. Well, this one is actually in my... This one's actually... I already have this ability, I think, but it's not showing... Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I forgot. I have to actually... No, wait, never mind. No, that's not it. Nope. I have no idea. I thought I had to press a different button, but... Hang on a second. Not even bothering with advised abilities. Because obviously the advised abilities isn't friggin' working. That doesn't make any sense. Breath of Life, Vampire's Bane. I just picked something else. What am I doing at the moment? Two-hander? Well, in reality, I can't even put it in my skill slots unless I swap out another one, which I honestly don't want to do. So I guess I just look at the... Well, yeah, I look at the passive abilities instead. Light heavy attacks damage up to 3 other nearby enemies, 20% of the damage inflicted to the primary target. Reduces stamina cost by 7%. Oh well, okay. We'll do that one. Yeah, exactly. I mean, after you work for it and it's there, you should already have it. So, that is a load of crap. Yeah, I had never had any problems like that when I was playing through it on the PS4 version. The only real problems that I had that I can recall was a bunch of you know, glitches and bugs that happened, but nothing that was game-breaking. Like, a bunch of crazy stuff, or stuff that was a bit annoying, but it wasn't anything that was, like, you know, way over the top or anything like that, like it broke my game save, or something along those lines. But then again, that probably also brings to mind about what you had said about the Xbox One version being the worst of all of them. But then again, with all the patches and crap that they've ended up doing, and with the Series X hardware, you would think that you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like that. It really doesn't make any sense. Hang on a second here now. Okay. Main quest, prologues. Yeah, I'm going to check all those out at some point. I guess that all has to do with what's like before you'd even get around to doing anything in the main story proper. Prologues to a bunch of other different quests, apparently. This kind of doesn't make any sense to me, like... I don't know.
Oh, a party was just what I needed to calm my nerves after what happened at the Zonmir. It's sort of refreshing to attend a function where I'm not the primary servant doting on the crowd. No, unless you count these tiny balls of goo that keep following me around. Lady Laurent says she catches glimpses of other me's in the crowd, but I think that's just her nerves. She can be quite tense and irritable if she skips her afternoon tea.
She's constipated.
It's good to see you, friend. I wanted to make sure you knew how thankful I am for rescuing Stibbins from all that slime. Good help, well, mediocre help, is so hard to replace. Oh, and I heard you saved Blackwood. Congratulations on that. Oh, I'm sure there'll be another adventure. And Stibbins goes where I go. I can't seem to get rid of him, no matter how hard I try. No, I jest. I wouldn't think of leaving him behind. Who else would carry all my packages? He's very good at that.
Well, you'd have a bunch of clones now if those little goos actually pop up and start making other clones of him like they did before. Ah, Pippers. Pet the Pippers. And of course I got my little dragon snake pet thing here, which came with this edition as an added thing. I hate it's not a combat pet though. It's just there to look pretty.
So, any chance I could talk you into enlisting in the Ivory Brigade? No? I didn't think so. I want to thank you for helping us with all this. I hate to imagine what would have become of Blackwood, if not for you and Everly. I'm in your debt.
Isn't it wonderful? Such a romantic story I've written for myself. But I feel like there's much left to discover. This party is sure to involve some steam goings on as well.
Yeah, you're in love with a spirit. We know. You better thank me that that ended up happening, because it could have ended up going a different way.
Wonderful. It's going smashingly. He's my muse, my inspiration, my reason for getting out of bed. And he's my... well, we'll have to see, won't we?
I wanted you to know how appreciative I am of what you've done for us. Not only did you reveal Vandacia for the traitor he was, you took him down and saved Blackwood.
He's talking and clapping at the same time.
Countess Cairo in the Chamber of Legates, thank you. You're always welcome here. Plans? The same as they were before this trouble started. Work with Gideon to secure our borders and keep the war from impacting Blackwood directly. Make sure our communities stay safe and prosper. If not for you, none of that would even be possible.
The same spirit Joe Biden was trying to shake hands with. Yeah, I saw that, man. Might as well have been. Yeah, I've been watching Joe Shapiro's stuff off and on. Especially his reactions to these woke videos on TikTok, which just makes me absolutely cringe.
You're not wearing that dashing outfit I sold you? If today's celebration is not the perfect occasion to dress up, I don't know what is. Perhaps you should visit my shop again to freshen up your wardrobe, hmm? Why? Shouldn't a leading Leowen business person attend a celebration for all of Blackwood? Besides, after I let word slip that you and Everly had patronized my shop, business has been booming. Everyone just has to know which outfit you selected.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
What is it?
It seems you have done well, little mortal. I hear you killed Mehrunes Dagon's high priest and stopped the planes from merging. I find you to be interesting. I will remember that the next time I require the assistance of a mortal agent.
Another Jamora, but she's in the Black Brotherhood, or Black Brotherhood. The Dark Brotherhood.
You must realize that the events...
We gonna stab people, nigga!
And the four ambitions have not yet reached their climax. When next Dagon and his followers emerge from the shadows, I will be waiting to see what they do. And then, I'll send for you.
Alright, see, I don't... There's something I'm not understanding here. This... I know that it's in Blackwood, but I'm even wondering if it even has anything to do with, like, what I was on, or if that was just a completely different quest. I know it's within it. I guess it all just compiles itself together in terms of side quests and main story quests, just kind of merging in with one another. That's what it seems like. I guess I'm just gonna... Well, I guess I'm just gonna... Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, I can only go towards the shrine, so we'll just have to do that. Looky at the stars and traverse me. I hate the fact that you have to require gold just to fast travel. It's freaking stupid. If I explore the places, I should be able to fast travel. Using gold to do it is freaking stupid. It's been like that forever and a day. It's dumb. It makes no sense. Maybe they're pushing it along the lines of like, well, we want you to explore. And I don't deny that. I don't deny exploring and all of that. I don't deny finding quests out on the road, because that has happened. But, dude, sometimes I just want to be able to just get to where I want to go. I shouldn't have to be penalized for that. I think that's dumb. There was one time I was doing it so much, and I thought I ended up having enough money on me to be able to do it, and then it just came to a point where I had to earn more to even be able to fast travel. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, man. That's exactly right. The hypocrisy is astounding. It's amazing what can happen when you actually play with people's emotions. You can get them to do anything. Oh, I remember this. I remember what it was, too. I tried to come in here and I got out of the game. Look at this. This doesn't make any sense. Why do I have to be that far away facing the other direction to be able to pick up something like that? When I was trying to do this quest the last time that I was playing this and I got up on that thing, it would not select this item. I have to be that far away to do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. I honestly thought the quest was glitched. And I was like, oh, well, I'll come back later. And now I do. And then I realize I have to face the other direction away from it to even be able to pick it up.
We don't have much, I know. Anise never fails to remind me. Have you found anything that might lead to my daughter? That's just some old handbill Anise had been hanging on to. Months old. Some vessel seeking fresh-faced deckhands that's long since pulled up anchor. I pitched it to the hearth after our last argument. That's probably why she left. But not where. When Anise was little, we couldn't keep her away from it. She'd grab it when we weren't looking and batter the walls and stairs, pretending it was her pirate sword. And drove my husband crazy. I've made do for so long I never bothered to replace it. What's that doing out? Anice's plan for a quilt. My husband built it for her when she was about 6. Oh, it must be a moldering wreck by now. Unless... if she hasn't run off to join that elf circus, she might be there. It was east of here, in the hills.
Funny story last night, Tanya was telling me about. She had went out with some work friends of hers to go and eat, and another one who actually ended up going to work at another company because they hadn't seen each other in a long while, and they all went out to go eat last night, and they basically had stayed there all the way up until the restaurant had closed, to the point to where a server had to ask were they ready for their check, because they got so lost with time after they ate to just keep talking they didn't realize how late it was. And then when they actually had gotten out of the restaurant, they stayed around in the parking lot chatting with one another, gave each other a group hug, and then still talked after that, and they were like the last ones in the parking lot by the time everything was said and done, because everybody had went home. Everybody who worked there had went home. And I made a joke. I was like, y'all should have got out of there earlier. I was like, those people are wanting to go home. They've had a long shift enough as it is. So, but yeah, I thought that was funny. I actually got home last night before she did. I mean, she still got in like sometime after 11 o'clock, but I was already in the house and took the dogs out and came back in and got a shower by the time she had showed up.
You're off to find this Anise girl, then. Tell me what you've learned. I wasn't able to overhear everything. You've been gone for some time. You managed to persuade the locals to share their stories with you, yes?
Yeah.
Did their firelight tales share any common themes?
Oh yeah, all the accidents and things that was going
Restless
on with this one.
Returning to say their last goodbyes before being spirited away once more? This really is beginning to sound like a ghost story. It's all a little too coincidental, don't you think? There has to be a common cause.
Oh yeah, and Death Proof. Yeah, I remember that.
You and Hesef have been our only visitors at the camp. If Anise has only recently gone missing, there may still be a chance for us to find her before she becomes the latest victim in this ghost story. Do you have any leads? Seeking out a more comforting time, no doubt. Let's hope she hasn't escaped into the arms of a monster. I'll follow your lead. My expertise in stage combat won't do us much good, but I have a few other talents and tricks up my sleeve.
I'm wondering if she can also end up being a companion. I wonder how many companions you can have. If that, I don't know. I kind of feel like in a ways with certain main characters that show up that actually show some kind of battle prowess that they would actually be able to be a companion to you. Hello, Hell Kitty. Welcome to the material plane. What the heck? Aw, it's a little sprig. Ain't he cute? Oh, it's an enemy. I don't really care about it though. It's a Spriggan. Yep, Spriggans are around here too. Hello, Bog Dog. Hello, Moto.
What a charming little thought. Well cared for, loved. Annie's home away from home. We should look around.
She sounds rather dubious.
Coming here and heading somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it was girls that she works with. There was also a dude that showed up too who used to work with their company, but then he started working at another company. I'm friends with a couple of them on Facebook. Him and a couple others I think that were also there as well. I know that much.
Seems our pirate raided the pantry before she left. She planned to be gone a while. I wonder what adventures this tiny sword has seen. A list of departures. Annie's had a mind to travel. I can picture our young heroine, wielding her imagination like a saber and cutting her way through all manner of adventure. I crave adventure and freedom. Play is my only escape. I come here to plan. I fantasize about leaving. Doubt holds me back. I need someone to believe in me. So often I'm alone, but today I have a visitor. Someone I trust. I go with them. I've never been more excited. I believe I have thrust to the heart of the matter. Hear me out.
Thrust to the heart of the matter.
Getting into character, you could say. Preparing for a part is all about understanding my role. How they think, how they feel. Anything and everything about who they are. I have always had a good head for details, and it serves me well as an actress. She's young, or at least young at heart. She's unhappy with her life, but she feels trapped. She has a dream to follow, but she's too scared to go it alone. Only now, she's found help.
You know, dude, how it is sometimes when storms end up rolling through. At least for me, like in the at night, like later on at night, for my experience, yeah, there's been some thunder and whatnot, but there's those rare instances where a clap of thunder would be so loud that it could wake you up out of a sleep, and that's what ended up happening last night. Because it started raining last night, I don't know, probably from what the weather said, maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And there was a clap of thunder that happened and it woke me up. But then it had thundered again like a little bit later on. And I think it's supposed to rain up until maybe about like 12 or 1 o'clock today, according to the weather. But it's always funny to me how it seems like mainly at night there isn't really that much thunder per se, at least from my experience, than it is during the day, which I guess in a way would make sense given you don't have the heat of the day going on. But then again, there has been plenty of times where there's been some thunder boomers that came in later on in the evening and a little later at night, but not as late as it was last night.
One place to sleep, yet 2 mugs on the crate, both unfinished. And of course, 2 sets of footprints heading south into the marsh, dancing all the way. The only way forward is to follow in their steps. Shall we dance too?
I mean, if the thunder is loud enough, then yeah, it'll probably wake me up. I guess that depends on how deep of a sleep that I'm in. But with the power, I understand that too, because I've got to have my fan going on. And if that's not going on, it irritates me. Not only because of the fact that I can't feel it if I want to feel it, but also the fact that I can't hear it. I can't stand to sleep in total silence. I just, oh man, it's the silence is deafening, as the talk has been said before.
I don't know who Annie's met out here, but the clues suggest that she wasn't in danger. Yet. We shouldn't dawdle. Someone she trusted enough to share a drink with. There's little doubt in my mind that she left with them voluntarily. The question is, was this person really who they appeared to be? We won't know the answer to that until we catch up with them.
I'm also looking for another job too. I've been looking through some other job listings last night. So I'm looking into a various ones. I got like a large list that I've been looking through, because I'm sick and tired of like the way that things are happening at work right now. You know, I'm so friggin' sick and tired of me being full-time hours since September, and management still has their head up their ass. They want to feed me lies and excuses. Like, oh, well, you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to prove this and that, and this, that, and the other. Okay, so you just frickin' lied to me at the beginning, you frickin' liar, about, oh, yeah, you're going to come back and have full-time by the time you come back after vacation, which was back in friggin' September of last year. And here it is, I go and talk to the main boss of the store, and he's still feeding me BS excuses. I'm so sick and tired of people who suck at their job and getting into positions like that, and they don't know how to run them. I'm fed up with it, dude.
That might very well be the case, though I have to wonder why she'd leave her pack behind if she had no intention to return.
When you suck at a job, you suck at a job.
But let's confirm she's all right before we jump to any conclusions.
And clearly you had to suck dick just to be able to get the position that you were in, because you suck at it.
Someone she trusted enough to share a drink with. There's little doubt in my mind that she left with them voluntarily. The question is, was this person really who they appeared to be? We won't know the answer to that until we catch up with them.
Oh, wow, man, jeez. Wow, I wonder what happened. That you have to send me a telegram about that if of all what went down, because that's some definite terrible bad stuff must have been happening for that. The audio side of things, I understand that too, because I don't do it now. It's just because I haven't. But I've thought about it, where I would always, like, before I really ended up having a fan going on, I would end up having a radio going on, and it would be like really low, just enough so I could hear it. But then I started putting on a fan as well, and then finally it just merged over to where I was just having the fan on and not the radio at all. So
that might very well be the case, though I have to wonder why she'd leave her.
Oh, never mind. I already heard her say that. But I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the fact that somebody is working there who either should have been set straight or should have been fired a long time ago. And there's been so many instances of other people having problems with her. And here it is, I'm having problems with her now. And, I mean, I was before, but now it's just culminated and it's come to a head. And I'm just getting really friggin' sick and tired of it. And I think it's going to come to a point where I'm going to end up getting into the office and talking to management about it, or there's going to be an incident that's going to happen where that's going to end up occurring, because I'm fed up with it now. I mean, it royally does piss me off that I'm trying to go and do stuff for the department of what I'm supposed to do, and other people aren't just dicking around and not doing their job. I'm sick and tired of it. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to repeat myself anymore on that, but It's come to a point. And the thing is, though, dude, it's like I like working there. I like some of the people that I work with. I like some of the people there, chatting with them and whatnot and stuff like that. But management is filled with a bunch of friggin' idiots. They are. And I'm just tired of it.
The tracks lead to this ruin. Did Annie's come here seeking adventure? We should look around.
Oh, we should look around. How much you want to bet she's probably Annie? I don't know. I have my suspicions.
Despite the smell, I don't think that's a funerary urn. The ashes are too fresh.
Last fan, I want to pull a 10-hour video of a fan here. I'm hoping that commercials popping up in there didn't wake you up, because you know how that is. Videos of fireplaces, rain. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've looked into some of those before. Yeah, I know, dude. I know, and I mean, I'd been looking at stuff, but I'm trying to find what I think is going to work out best for me. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I had really sat back and thought about, since the hospital has changed now, knowing the previous corrupted company that was in environmental services of that hospital isn't there anymore, and I believe the hospital itself has taken over now. I was thinking in my mind, I was like, I wonder if I could go and apply for a job there if the pay is right and if the benefits are actually worth it. Because the benefits and the pay working with housekeeping services or whatever the piss they were called sucked. That company sucks. They really do. Especially with that that guy who works for the company who looked like friggin' Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. He just ended up becoming a boss of this company, because that's honestly what he looks like. And he's as much of an asshole as the boss that I had when I was working there. I'm glad I don't work for them anymore either, honestly. They can go eat a bag of dicks. They probably do anyways in private. That's probably how my previous boss ended up getting his job with him. Eating his dick!
There are bits of paper in this brazier, but most of these books are too soggy for tinder.
He's a cock gobbler, I tell you what.
This book is well worn, but hardly old. Given the subject matter, I'd wager it belonged to Annie. This is troubling.
Sorry, I'm just kind of venting it. Venting today. But rightfully so.
Annie's came here and performed some sort of ritual, and not the sort conjured from an overactive imagination. Whoever she followed here convinced her to make an offering to this place.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but the way that I saw it was that it's a completely it's supposed to be a completely different thing now, and I would have never known about this if a few months ago one of the nurses who worked there didn't come in to where I was working at to go and mention to me like, oh yeah, they aren't there anymore now. This company isn't with the hospital anymore. The hospital's completely taken it over. She said, I've always said about how you guys needed to actually have insurance and benefits and all this other stuff, which was stuff we weren't even friggin' getting from this company, which lets you even know how much it royally sucks. I mean, if you also got people who were going and getting the insurance with these people, and then going to the doctor, and the insurance wasn't even covering for them, you realize the insurance was a friggin' scam, and the company's a friggin' scam. I mean, good grief, dude, I ended up getting some friggin' tax document from this friggin' insurance company this year. I'm like, I haven't been with these people since 2020. Why am I getting something from them? I told them I was friggin' done with the insurance, considering I ended up getting fired from the place. Why are you sending me this, you friggin' retards? Doesn't make any sense. Get something today and ended up getting fired from the job in 2020. That makes a lot of sense. Stupid friggin' idiots.
I'm certain that well-worn adventure book was a dear possession to Annie's. She wouldn't have torn pages from it for a lark. She burned them in that brazier with her own blood for some ritual purpose. Not yet, but I was a mage of great talent in a past life. If there's any clue relating to what is occurring in Farmer's Nook, I'll find it. There's a good chance Anise will return to town, like the others. If she does, confront her about this.
Although then again, I also was thinking about it, that if I would have ever ended up going back to something like that, I'm not sure if one of the same women is still working there. You know, she's a pawn jumper, if you will, and she basically was one of the people that ended up getting me fired, was what it was. And the thing is, though, is like I wasn't necessarily blaming her for the way that things were going. I realized that she was a supervisor there, but the thing is that with the other management that was there, that right there was one of the problems, especially with our boss. He was the main one who ended up basically having the go-to to go and say who was working where and who was doing what. And as much as I ended up talking about the fact that, you know, I don't want to work here, why can't I work somewhere else? And you got this other guy who's going and doing all this other stuff, but he's not working in the same area that I am, and I'm like the only guy who's actually working in this area, and you got all these other people that are working in their areas, and you got this other guy who can't even, it's like he wouldn't work in the same area that I was working in because our boss wouldn't go and put him there for whatever reason, even though he specifically told me that he was going to train everybody in this specific area, which was a friggin' lie.
If Anise does return to Farmer's Nook, be careful confronting her. The last thing we want is for her to do something drastic and come to harm like those who came before her.
I swear, dude, I have always had a problem with management of how much just a bunch of friggin' liars that they are, dude. I mean, I'm trying to find a way to just work for myself and be my own boss because I wouldn't be lying to myself. I wouldn't be making excuses then.
Afraid my witty repartee won't be enough to keep me out of trouble? I'm hurt. Trust me when I say I know how to make a dramatic exit when I need to, but if I don't return to town in a short while, assume the worst.
But I was looking at some other things last night. That was weird. This kind of popped up in the air sitting on nothing for a second. Wait a minute. Okay, so I've got to run up over there. Yeah, I mean, I've also, I actually was going to ask Tanya this today, because I noticed that there was some positions that are, I think, maybe at least one or two that had opened up in her company she works for. And I was going to ask her to see if there was any other positions that may have popped up there recently. It's a shame that you like working at a place and you like working around certain people and chatting with them and all this stuff, and the job itself is okay, but the management royally sucks dick.
Everything all right?
Your mother's looked all over for you. Where have you been?
Ugh, I ran away again, alright? Just be glad I came back at all.
One of the things I kind of hate was that I ended up overhearing that apparently bosses and whatnot that work there can't be having anything to do with any of the other employees outside of the workplace. Like in terms, I guess, of attending certain events like weddings and stuff like that. because this other chick that I'm having a problem with is married, and she ended up getting engaged, and she was talking to one of these other managers about her coming to her wedding, and she's like, oh, you could get fired for doing stuff like that. And she's like, well, nobody has to know. Which is true, nobody has to know. As far as I'm concerned, it isn't anybody's friggin' business in the first place to begin with. I'm the type of person that believes the job and the personal life is separate. My job is my job, and when I'm on the job stuff happens. When I'm off the job and I'm in my personal life, the job doesn't matter. End of story. So if it was me and I wanted to invite somebody who was in a management position, I'm going to friggin' do it. And they don't have to know nothing about it because I wouldn't be inviting them in the first place to begin with if they got such a friggin' problem with that. I can't stand that crap, man. That's one reason why people always say to leave any burdens or anything that you have when it comes to work, to try to just leave them at the door when you walk out and not take them home. I understand that that's hard from time to time because Lord knows I've dealt with it before. But, geez, man. Don't go and tell me what I can and can't do in my own personal life outside of the workplace. I'm not on the clock. Your thoughts and feelings and opinions on the matter don't mean nothing. Doesn't matter if you're a boss or not. When I'm off the clock, you're not my friggin' boss.
What's the big deal? This is the 7th time I tried running away in 3 years. Why are they all gawping at me like they're afraid to blink? Do I know? No, I don't know you. Why do you care? And none of those people disappeared. They went after their dreams. I'm not the only one who has those, you know. Nobody wants to be stuck in Farmer's Nook for their whole life.
I remember one time when Tanya came to visit me, I think it was like the second time that she did, some years back, and she and I went out to go somewhere, and actually my boss at the time, before she finally quit because of how corrupt she was and somebody else took over, we ended up seeing her out in public, and she was just like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, it's doing okay. You know, I just kind of left it at that. We were just kind of standing there awkwardly because we were in the checkout line. I didn't say anything else to her, and she didn't say anything else to me. I didn't have anything to say to her anyways.
They just didn't want anyone to miss them. That's why I'm here now. I didn't want the last time my mom saw me to be after another fight. But they have to let us go sometime. What? No, it's not like they're buried in a crypt or anything. I'm just trying to say I'm not the only one who felt trapped here. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I don't even know you.
I don't know. I don't know what had happened at that point in time on why I didn't. I'm not really sure.
But
what the heck?
May we have a word in private? So, that's Anis Favrod. What do you make of her? How apropos, considering that little library we found is a shrine to Hermaeus Mora. Though I'm still not sure how the Demon of Knowledge fits into this puzzle of ours. Why would Anis consort with it? Perhaps I should have made an offering of my own? It certainly looks that.
Why is everybody dealing with Daedra, man? Good grief.
To the ritual that was performed at that shrine, but some of those moldy tomes shed a little light on things. The Aliens who used to live out here revered Mora as their principal prince.
Because honestly, man, like the way that things go with the place that I work at, with the bosses, like one in particular, he just seems like he's way too uppity just by the way he talks and discusses things sometimes. I understand if you're a manager or whatnot, I get that. But there's another manager that works there where it's very easy to work with her because she aims to have conversation and things with the employees, and you know, we have things we have to do to get done, and she's doing her job and we're doing our job, but she works really well at it. She's very, it's like she's nice and she's nice about it, but you come across understanding like the way her character is, and it's like, yeah, cool, yeah, I'll take care of this, and she takes care of what she's got to take care of and stuff like that. But there's one dude who's like jacked up like the Incredible Hulk, and he just has this uppity kind of feeling about him. Then there's another woman, I don't know if she's a lesbian or not. The way she talks and acts sometimes kind of makes me feel like she is, because she always has this certain attitude about her, like she's got her tampon in sideways or something. And then one of the other guys who's probably, honestly, like I think the better of the assistant supervisors or the assistant managers there, because he's a bit of a gamer. He is a gamer himself, and a nerdy kind of thing. He has like the regular NES controller tattooed on his forearm, and he's been like the only real manager or assistant manager I can think of to really talk to and discuss things with, besides this other woman that I was talking about. But then you got the main manager, who I rarely ever talk to him, it's just in passing kind of stuff, but he's the main one, obviously, that isn't actually bringing the hammer down to be able to make some of this stuff happen that needs to happen, and that's another thing that royally pisses me off.
The shrine we found was simply one of many ruins. I discovered record of another ruin near to Farmer's Nook. If we're dealing with a cult, or some other servants of Mora, it would make the perfect hideaway. What do you say we go check it out?
Yeah, I know what you're saying in terms of that. The only thing is, though, is me trying to end up having enough creativity to come up with things to end up actually talking about stuff like this. And I think one of the problems is that I need to actually be around people who's going to be able to discuss these things with me, because that can actually cause conversations to start and get moving. Because sometimes if I'm just talking about certain things, obviously when it comes to an interest perspective, obviously if I end up getting enough info on it, I can talk about it. But to really try to have something be a prolonged kind of thing to end up turning into a podcast, I really need to end up having people that we can bounce questions and conversations off of, to end up having it be like a whole full-long experience that would actually be worth listening to.
The ruin I spoke of is north of town, not too far. I'll have a word with the innkeeper and Hesef about keeping Anise occupied while we work, but if you wish to speak with anyone else before we head out, I'll wait here. We have reason to suspect that Anise is somehow involved in this mystery. Better to assume she is playing the role of the villain until we know more. Even if she's simply another victim of circumstance, it's safer for everyone that she stay put.
Woman, you got something going on with you.
She's back. She's safe. Oh, it feels like I've pulled my heart from a vice. Sorry I troubled you with another of Anise's tantrums. No, nothing. She looks right as rain, and I'd recognize that attitude anywhere. I know what you're driving at. You're saying I should be worried? Well, out with it.
Well, it's really weird because, like, I've always been a person who, I don't know, man, my social skills are weird. Because, like, I'm not a person who talks to everybody, like, especially if I'm at work or whatever. I'm very selective on who I talk to, and it really depends on how conversations flow. I'm not like one of these social butterflies or something that can just go and talk to anyone about anything. But then again, actually discussing something that I have interest in, that's a different method. And, yeah, I know it doesn't have to be like an hour or two or whatever, because honestly, I don't want to be one of those people that would have a podcast that would go and talk for that period of time. And in reality, it probably could have ended up being like maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something at the most, because some podcasts I've heard before in the past, they got filler in there, and I friggin' hate it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, would you get to the point? Nobody cares about your daughter's sisters, cousins, babies, birthday, shower, whatever, baby, shower, bris, what have you. Nobody cares, man. Not trying to be mean, but you have this podcast for a reason, and the stuff that you're talking about on there doesn't have to do with what the podcast is supposed to be about. I just end up fast-forwarding through that stuff, man. It's like, geez. Stop it. I don't care. Out in the marsh, I'm gonna watch her. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her that.
Ritual? What nonsense has gotten into the girl's head now? Anise doesn't know the first thing about magic. She's got an overactive imagination and too much free time. Well, thank you for telling me. I'll mention it when I ground her.
Yeah, you ground her. Don't you go worshiping them demons out there in the wilderness, dancing naked around the fire with paint all over your body. Yeah, that would be something. That would definitely be something. Oh boy. One of the things that I'm really thinking about doing, like I had mentioned before in the past, is really trying to get like Bible study related stuff into my channel, whether it would be on my main channel or a different channel. I might actually just do it on my main channel and then may switch over to another channel just to try to keep things focused, if you will. Don't really know, but I've thought about doing that, and obviously, you know, I'm no pastor or anything, but I've already mentioned it to you before about reading different chapters day after day and then giving my thoughts on it, prayer and discussion and stuff like that. So, oh, never mind. I can't examine that sack there? That's weird. Okay. Well, anyways. Yeah, I gotta go in here, but I'm gonna actually end up ending the stream now because it's almost 12 and I've got to head to work in an hour and a half. So anyways, I appreciate you coming out and whatnot, and I'll be chatting with you throughout the day. But I'm gonna get something to eat and chill out for a while before I gotta head into work. And just be praying for me, man, for me to be able to find something else if things don't get better here, and I don't see them getting better here. I see it as being the same crap over and over. Not to also mention the fact of what ended up happening before, like I had mentioned to you last night, about I knew that they were going to end up screwing my friggin' schedule up, even though I specifically had stated a few weeks ago about me actually being off, either off on Fridays or coming in earlier on Fridays to be able to be off for my Bible study in the evening with my Bible study group. And I knew they were going to screw it up. As soon as I saw it yesterday, I'm like, yep, working on a Friday, exact same daggum shift. So I'm going to go in today and I'm going to talk about it and get something rectified or something, because it already got approved. So why in the world is it that it's not showing it on the schedule, even after you saw what I ended up saying in trying to get the day off or coming in earlier? I don't see how hard that is to understand. I can come in earlier and work, or I can have the day off. Whatever, man. Pick one. Everybody else gets all this other stuff that they want. Having vacation, days off, coming in early, late, whatever. By God, I can have the same thing happen for me. So, anyways, that's enough ranting for the day. I'm gonna get on out of here. So, later, taters.